we are proud.
Excellency, President MC Ramaphosa of the Republic of South Africa.
Your Excellency, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Sweden, Mr. Reinhardt, President of Mechanical Cutting, and the Mayor, Acting Mayor, I'm told, has left, Mr. Kuseni Dlamini, together with your fellow Sandvik directors and representatives from business, and I believe labor as well. And all of you, ladies and gentlemen, it is a real joy for me to be here amongst you, but particularly to come for a visit to this facility here. It's a company that has been operating in this country for almost 70 years. Sandvik has really established a firm and what I would call a reliable presence in South Africa. We were reminiscing a little bit beyond the time that Mr. Reinhardt and I met, 1985, but also going back to the time when Sandvik operated in Delmas and at the Jet Park. So that's been a very long time. And thank you very much for this substantial head office that you've put up here that manages operations for Sandvik, not only here in South Africa, but operations that span a number of countries in our region, in Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, Mozambique, Angola, as well as Madagascar, who are part of the SADC family. In many ways, this places Sandvik in a really perfect position to take advantage of the opportunities of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and be able to expand exponentially because there are great advantages in relation to tariffs. At the third South African Investment Conference in 2020, Sandvik was one of those companies that stood up and made a commitment to invest 350 million rand to expand its manufacturing and remanufacturing and warehouse facility here in Kempton Park. Today, we see the real product of that commitment in the form of this investment. In the State of the Nation address, which I delivered this year, I said that government is working extremely hard to attract investment by creating conditions that would enable businesses to come and invest here for both big and small, so that they can emerge, they can grow, that they can also access new markets to create new products and to hire more employees. So the establishment of this facility is a product of what we talked about, is living up to the commitment that Sandvik also made at the time. We have heard that the Khomanani Manufacturing Site is one of Sandvik's biggest and most advanced facilities, not only for here in South Africa, but globally as well, consolidating operations from 5 separate sites and accommodating well over 500 employees. Now, this is phenomenal, particularly during a period when unemployment has been rising, to see that a company that made a commitment just almost 2 years ago, 3 years ago, has lived up to the commitment and has resulted in the creation of so many jobs. This will allow Sandvik to shift certain manufacturing duties from elsewhere in the world to this facility. This investment, therefore, extends beyond what I would call the financial. It is an investment in skills, in technologies, as well as in capabilities. It is an investment in people and productivity. And I spent time as I was going around talking to a number of the employees of this company. The investment by Sandvik in local manufacturing capacity is an important vote of confidence in South Africa and in the mining industry. With industrialization and manufacturing being essential pillars of South Africa's economic reconstruction and recovery plan, it is gratifying to see this commitment turned into reality here in Gauteng. Discussions with Sandvik to reopen their manufacturing facility in South Africa began as long ago as 2015 at the 9th session of the South Africa-Sweden Binational Commission in Stockholm, where the two countries strengthen their own relationship and find ways of engaging businesses to be part of that process of consolidating relations between two nations. This stands as testament to the firm relations between South Africa and Sweden. It is in many ways a relationship that is born out of and rooted in solidarity as well as cooperation, and that continues to find expression in investment, in commerce, and in trade. I used to say in my trade union days, Sweden was the one country that I visited more than many others because the National Union of Mine Workers that I led and the Swedish Mine Workers Union found great affinity to work closely together, and we were able to learn from each other. And at a political level, Sweden also supported liberation movement, but principally the longest-serving president of the ANC, O.R. Tambo, even when he was not well. So this has been a very special relationship between the two countries that has spanned a number of areas, from the political, the social, the commerce, and the people-to-people relationships. So for us to be here at a Swedish type of company, it is a really special occasion. I have enjoyed the tour of the facility, and it was good also to interact with the staff, and in particular to see also women represented, but also to see how Sandvik has lived up to a good representation of the demographics of our country. Talking to the young people that I met on the ground, both black and white, where a number of them are learning really good hard skills like engineering, being fitters, boiler makers, and assembling components, really filled my heart with joy, because a number of them are becoming artisans or are artisans and really playing a role in the heart of what our economy should be doing, which is manufacturing, which cascades to mining as well. So to also have seen a number of women, women like you, was also a joy to see them working with the hard machines. It was also good to hear that localization is a cornerstone of the operations here. This supports our aim to build domestic production capacity, to supply local and foreign markets, to support broader economic development, and to create more jobs. When we started talking about localization, many people, including people in academia, media, and all that, thought we were smoking something. I'm glad that in this firm, we can see that localization has become part of their business. Up to 60% of the machines and everything that's made here is locally put together, and that to us is a real boost for our economy. And the expansion of local production will make our economy more inclusive and create more opportunities for new entrants into the industrial sector as well. It is 5 years since Sandvik decided to establish its own local manufacturing facility for the complete production of the new low-profile loader the Sandvik LH115L. I was very pleased to hear that this product is entirely produced in South Africa for the rest of the African market. Mining has historically been the bedrock of our economy, and given our vast mineral reserves, mining will continue to play a central role in our economy for many decades to come. So greater investment in mining, in localization, as well as beneficiation, all contribute to extending mine life, to increasing mining exports, to skills development, and to the creation of employment. The mining capital goods industry has developed alongside the mining sector to supply mining and mineral processing equipment to enhance productivity and safety, as well as to lower costs and to improve efficiencies. Now, as I was going around here, I saw a really well-run firm. Everything is in its place, and everybody's in their place. And I asked them, is there ever any confusion here? As you put all these heavy equipment together, they said, yes, there's a lot of confusion, but there's also good planning. And that is what impressed me, and I was glad that they were very, very honest, because where I work, there's a lot of confusion. So for a firm, Mr. Dlamini, to acknowledge that there's a lot of confusion, but with good planning, that's wonderful. And I saw that everything seems to work very well. The capital equipment industry is critical to the South African economy. The focus on capital equipment will contribute to a new age of mechanization in our mining industry. Now, contrary to the view that mechanization will result in significant job losses in the mining industry, research does show that it will instead generate additional employment opportunities. Mr. Reinhardt and myself were talking about that and talking about the tension between bringing in mechanization and seemingly moving towards destroying jobs. And we both concluded that you could balance the two. And in fact, you could actually end up creating even new jobs, even as you bring in mechanization. All it requires is creativity, innovation, and being able to take the risks. The convergence between the information technology and machinery and equipment industries is the basis for smart manufacturing and also smart and innovative societies. These are the vital constituents of the fourth industrial revolution. The mining machinery and equipment sector also has significant linkages into other parts of the economy. The companies that supply equipment to the mining industry have important backward linkages to major assembly suppliers, sub-assembly and parts suppliers, and specialist component suppliers, as well as raw material suppliers. And walking through this factory, you can actually see these backward interlinkages as they play themselves out. Because I kept asking questions about, where do you get your steel? Who makes your steel? And that you find that there's a long value chain. And it is in this value chain that you are able to create jobs. And this is through this that you are able to debunk this notion that localization is not going to really benefit us, because it does. And this has demonstrated that it is, and it will continue to do so. Because a growing local capital goods manufacturing sector will have a positive impact on other sectors of the economy, like agriculture and construction, and further strengthen sectors such as banking, hospitality, tourism, and many others, of course. Increasing local production will contribute significantly to the revival of South Africa's manufacturing industry. My heart was sore when I went to Sidibeng, near the Vereniging area van der Bijl Park, when I saw how many factories have either gone derelict or no longer functioning or closed. And this is an area that used to be a booming manufacturing base in the Gauteng precinct. And this is what we now want to focus on, to see how best we can focus on those so that they can also play a role in being part of this value chain of manufacturers of finished equipment. I'm quite certain that your customers in the mining industry, some of whom are here today, are as grateful as we are for your continued investment in South Africa. Our economy, like many others around the world, is struggling to recover from the devastating impacts of COVID-19. Yet through such investments that you made a commitment of, and through the expansion of our productive capacity, through the implementation of far-reaching economic reforms that we've embarked upon and are implementing, and through our efforts also to reduce the cost of doing business in South Africa, we are laying a firm foundation for growth and employment. And what you are doing here just proves the case. This local manufacturing facility represents an exciting new chapter in Sandvik's presence in our country and indeed on our continent as well. It does underscore your desire to continue to play a part in South Africa's skills development, knowledge transfer, and local manufacturing. Earlier, you did allude to the fact that you're spending almost 18 million rand a year in training. And what you were detailing to me about your efforts and your initiatives in training and the young people that I saw on the factory floor is precisely what we want to see. And your courage, even in bringing interns, in bringing artisans who are being trained, is precisely what we want to see. And I'd like to take you a little further, because a number of the young people I spoke to here come from TVET colleges. And I'd like to take you further, Mr. Reinhardt and Mr. Dlamini, and say we would like to see Sandvik partnering with a TVET college around here to adopt the TVET college so that the TVET college is able to produce people who will be of great use to you. Because there is right now a misalignment with a number of our TVET colleges. They are not closely aligned to what industry requires and needs. They're doing a great deal of work, bringing in lots of young people within their realms. But we now need to see that partnering. And the best way to do that partnering is to have a close relationship between a firm as well as a TVET college, and be able to even have an impact and an influence on the curriculum that they teach so that it is aligned to what you require here. And so that some of the lecturers should actually come on the floor and see precisely what you do. Allow me to conclude by once again thanking Sandvik for its steadfast commitment to South Africa and its well-founded confidence in the future of African mining. And as the name of this facility beckons, I agree that Khomanani is a really outstanding and a beautiful name. It basically means let's hold hands together and move forward. So here I saw a lot of people holding hands together, and we would like to hold hands with Sandvik and move forward. Thank you very much.